can fly away 体中に広がるパノラマ顔を蹴られた地球が起こって火山を爆破
Hey, what's going on, ballers? Matthew from Arkadia here with another episode of PanZ Playtesting. This video, of course, we have Blue Turles and Black Ginyu. It's Blue Turles energy beats, and 2 energy rings on turn 1, not so great. So it looks like he's just going to pass it. Looks like there's a mouse pointer in the middle of the screen. Sorry about that. When you're editing videos, things happen. So we got Blue Energy Turles, and the Black Ginyu is, of course, on the Allies plan plus Nappa and Frieza, and this deck can win by MPPV now thanks to all the sweet cards from set 3. And I think right here on turn 1 he was actually kind of debating the cards in his hand because I think it totaled up to 6 or so anger just gained by playing the attacks. You know, considering that you can use Ginyu, go get Jace, use Jace, or even Goldo as a block. And then you're up to level 2 Ginyu anyhow, so if something dies, you know, you're getting it back. So the debate was whether or not you would even enter on turn 1, but I think we decided that the best idea is not to push your luck. So back to me. That's right, I'm playing Blue Turles over there, and let's see. It's a pretty sweet hand. The card on top is, what is that? Can't tell. Oh, Blue Narrow Escape. It's pretty sweet. Blue Round Throw, and the one card in the hand that I really wanted to talk about was the Blue Barrier. Like, that card to me just says stop what Ginyu's doing. It's pretty brutal. Stop an energy attack, destroy an ally. And we find out pretty shortly here what that means. But I think first, what do we go with? We go with the Blue Round Throw. Right? Might as well get in. 5 stages, lower the anger 1. Can also discard it to stop an energy, but stages are stages. So he's down on stages right now already, making us discard. Not a bad plan. So, of course, we discard the blue flinch because the other blocks in our hand are just way better at the time. So I passed on my action, given that I had only blocks. And it looks like he's got the blue overhead burst, or black overhead burst, sorry. It goes for the death blow, devastating blow. Devastating blow, still a good card. Still a good card. I've noticed a lot of deck lists have moved away from devastating blow, but for essentially for free, you get an anger, they lose 2. You get to nix 3 cards from their discard. Still good. Still good. So there I discarded the energy block to block the dev blow, raise my own anger 1. Not sure why I raised my anger 1 now that I think about it. Might have been thinking about trying to get to level 2. That seems terrible. So it looks like we both went pass on the end of combat there. Goldo, pretty sweet. Blocking energy or physical. And then he buffs your attacks. Hold on, let me find it. It's hard to see in the video. Which next go around we will have better quality on the video, so sorry again about that. So Goldo, stop a physical or an energy, your attacks deal +2 stages and +2 life cards this combat. Pretty sweet. Especially if you can hit him with Ginyu's level 1. Black also has black power up, set up sack it, raise a personality to its highest power stage. You may end combat. Pretty neat. Alright, play's moving kind of fast, so but it looks like it's on Turles' turn, and he's going to combat, and looks like Ginyu is not happy about having to play with his hand revealed from the mental drill. And once again going to combat. The way I played the blue deck, here he is revealing his hand, which a black scout maneuver, looks like burst and a knee catch, knee block, whatever. Interesting. Not great for him. The scout maneuver is pretty sweet though. I've noticed that some of the blacklists are starting to kind of steer away from scout maneuver. You should probably still play it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Alright. Hey, so we go with Blue Double Blast. Sweet card from set 3. It's 6 life card damage. Lower your opponent's anger 2 levels. Pretty neat. If your current anger levels are higher than theirs, damage can't be prevented. Pretty sweet new card. Pretty sweet. But we get a time as a warrior's tool out of it. So that's neat. And let's see. I'm trying to remember what he names with Scout Maneuver. I think he names Stare Down. Yeah. So it looks like he names Stare Down. Just the stare downs in the blue deck are proxied. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's fine. And there is a card back. Where's another one? I think there's only 2 in the deck. I just went off a list we found on top tier. I can't remember the username off the top of my head, but I mean, 3 stare downs seems like it should always be the thing. Yeah, even here I was looking back through the list, making sure it was only 2. Yeah, we built it as it was. Yeah, pretty sure you should still always be on 3 stare downs. So, like I said, we built them as they were and we didn't tweak anything. So much shuffling. So much shuffling. Okay, Turles. There I pass again, and we both take a second to laugh because I keep entering combat and then passing a ton. I don't know if you heard that in the background, but my phone just started saying Nappa quotes. That's pretty sweet. Alright. Another pass. So I think he cracked the black power up literally just to get his stages up. I'm not sure that's the right play, but it is what it is. So a command, an overpowering attack, and a Raccoon. So that looks a little bit better for him at this point. Raccoon, attack tables damage, attack table stages on a physical attack. And if it hits, you may have your MP pay 2 stages, draw a bottom card of your discard. And as we all know from playing black in the first 2 sets, card advantage is never bad. So he goes to combat with his hand. I think he's going to try and get up to level 2. And what does he choose to do first? Ginyu. Good choice. I can't remember what he goes to get, so we'll just wait and see. I think he goes and gets Jace. I mean, that's the Ginyu go-to, right? Jace. And then this is the nuts. Blue barrier. This thing, we figured out the way it stacks. Ginyu brings the ally into play. Now when it comes time to stop the damage, you stop the attack and destroy the ally that just came into play. So, again, like I was saying earlier, Blue Barrier essentially says stop what Ginyu is doing. And there I Sagacious Strike for no damage to kill the Goldo. It's pretty neat. And I think I have another Blue Barrier in hand, which is bad news. Bad news bears for that overpowering attack he's about to play. Oh, but he discards Black Command. So I discard the Overload so I get to put the Sagacious Strike on top. So that wasn't bad. And there I pass because all I got left is a Blue Barrier. So he OPs overpowering attack. And there I'm showing him the Blue Barrier. Goes to gets the Jason, I immediately kill it. And we're actually laughing just about how ridiculous the Blue Barrier is against Ginyu. So, you know, it's one of those things, if you're expecting a lot of Ginyu where you're playing, and you want to play blue, play that card. Play that card. Calling it. And here he was just saying that if you're in Ginyu playing against blue and you play a scout maneuver, you should probably name Blue Barrier. And I was inclined to agree. And there I slam a Dragon Ball and then realize there's nothing to hit with it. So that's neat. Again, we're not perfect. So I think I throw out the... yeah. Keep the Sagacious Strike. Dragon Ball to the bottom. And discard the whatchamacallit. The Double Blast. So he's got Nappa now. Everything he's doing at this point seems lackluster. He's still got the black knee catch, the black combo, and the... I think that's defensive burst? Don't quote me on that. It's a... I can't read it, I wish it was in HD. No, it is defensive burst. Okay. Keep having to double check myself. I don't trust myself. There's a billion cards, you gotta remember them all. So he's debating whether or not he wants to go to combat. Because I have burned through 2 blue barriers already. So he can probably safely get some allies into play. By process of elimination, he should remember that I have Sagacious Strike. But so I drew 2 positioning drills. So yeah, not the greatest. Not the greatest. So he does black combo. It's physical attack. Attack table +1. And then what's the rest of it? I'm trying to remember. Raises his anger too, and if it hits, he can search. Or I'm sorry, he can move an attached card from one MP to another. Which is kind of neat. I would probably go ahead and just play 3 black combos in black, because it's kind of your in-color answer to Wallbreaker, which pretty much everybody got one in set 3. You know, we have Sagacious Strike now. We have black combo. There's, I think it's Red Mule Kick, I want to say, is the one where you get to just wipe any attached card. There is one in Saiyan, I can't remember what it's called. Everybody got an answer. So I feel like they finally did a good job balancing things out. So good on Panini. So we got Raccoon, and we actually take an attack for the first time in the game. So he's got Birder on board, so he's doing extra stages of damage all the time. So that's neat. But he goes with the defensive burst, and our hand has successfully been burned through, so we're taking it. So that's neat. Black defensive burst is physical for 4 life cards. If it hits, your opponent cannot perform physical attacks or remainder of combat. But with the mastery, he gets an extra life card and an extra stage, and with Birder he gets 2 extra stages, so it's actually not bad. 5 and 3 on the defensive burst. Hey, positioning drill and a visiting the past. Kind of back out in front just with that one slappage of cards onto the table. You know, blue positioning drill whenever you stop an attack. Place a styled card from your discard on top of your life deck. Oh, that's Blue's own little way of rejuvenating things. Can't decide what to discard here. I mean, we got the Turles' Energy Ring or the Shifting Maneuver. Shifting Maneuver is the Omni block. And if your anger is 3 or higher, you can discard it instead of banish it. Still debating. Oh, and I think there I was debating on going to combat because I had visiting in the past, and then he reminded me that Nappa is a card, so that's fair. You cannot visit the past if Nappa says you cannot. And oh, another defensive burst and an energy web. Energy web is good again, people. Count it. Count it. Kobe. So he also drew Black Swirl. 4 life cards, and then you can name a card and your opponent cannot play that card remainder of combat. If it hits, raise your anger 2. It's a pretty good card. I do not remember what he chooses to do first. I don't know what is happening here. What I'm doing. Because I don't think I've drawn my cards yet. Oh, there he goes. Alright. Going to combat. So that's a pretty sweet hand. We got a neck beam, shifting maneuver, the energy ring, and what was that last card? I forget what it's called, but it's if you discard it, blue guard. If it's discarded from your hand, you can banish it to draw a card. Also stops an energy attack. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, we just shifting maneuver, because why not? And then we get a card from positioning drill. I'll put the cards in front of the camera. I want to see what we put on top. Put it on top. Cannot see. I have no idea what it was. Guess we'll find out soon enough. And start with an energy ring. Why not? So energy ring's pretty sweet. It's a hell of a lot sweeter with modifiers, but it's not terrible as is. It's energy attack for 1 stage, damages 5 life cards, plus attack table stages. So life cards and stages, like, first thing you usually think of is black, but I like it in this deck. And if it hits and it did not deal crit, stays in play to be used a second time. So that creates interesting situations. Like right here, I think he chose to take the crit. Or no, I'm sorry. He enduranced so that it stays in. Wait. We are confusing ourselves and it's confusing me. Because level 1's Turles says your styled attacks deal +2 stages of damage and cannot have their damage prevented. So then I start to think that this couldn't be prevented. But then we start discussing it and then realize Turles says styled attacks. Let's see how long it takes for us to figure it out. Okay, so we screwed up. We do catch it, but it takes a second. Like, as we're still thinking about it and discussing it. And then we continue to play. Discard blue guard. You know, I don't know if we ever went back and corrected it. So, just FYI. If we never correct what we did here on the video, just be aware of simple mistakes like that. Turles' styled attacks on level 1 deal +2 stages of damage and cannot be prevented. But it doesn't change what I was saying about the energy ring, how it creates awkward situations where someone may go ahead and take all 5 life cards of damage instead of endurancing, just so that it doesn't stay in play. So it's a pretty sweet card. It puts the decision making on your opponent, and it never works out. So that's sweet. Alright. And moving on, because we're moving on, Blue Hand Blast. 5 life cards, raise your anger 2. If it hits, raise or lower your opponent's anger 2. It's pretty neat. Because it's a styled attack, you can't use endurance on it on level 1, like we were just talking about. So we were just discussing here that his stages are gone. I've managed to nix all the stages. I've got visiting the pass sitting out front, and I've been able to just control everything off the board. And I think here we start discussing the differences between blue and black, and just the way this deck is built. kind of, let's see, how do I put it? Against the traditional black that plays more control elements with the searching techniques and black scout search maneuver or scout maneuver, black scout search maneuver. I'm mucking things up. Wow, that's a terrible hand. Knee catch, command, command. Terrible, terrible. But the more traditional black control decks probably fare better against other control decks, because black in that situation would have the card advantage. But the MPPV style with Ginyu, especially since the Turles deck was essentially kind of meta built to beat Ginyu, like it's absolutely terrible matchup. Blue's good at countering MPPV. That's what it does, right? That's what it does. It's fine. That's what it does. So I think we're debating whether or not to go to combat. We got a pretty sweet hand. Got that intervention. Kraken visiting the pass. We're gonna sculpt our hand to perfection. I can't remember whether or not we're getting close to GG. I can't quite tell how many cards are left in his deck or mine. But so we've got blue floating beam in hand. We have, I'm trying to see. We got the intervention, energy ring, leverage. Just debating what to put on the bottom from the visiting the pass. Intervention is pretty sweet. It's a new card from Movie Collection. If it's discarded from your hand by a card effect, you can banish it to search your life deck for, or discard for a copy of Blue Intervention, put it in your hand. So, it also stops an energy attack, but it replaces itself. So, that's neat. And anytime crap replaces itself is kind of the best. And blue right now is very good at replacing cards and cycling through the deck. So we kept the blue hand blast, the floating beam, the intervention, and Turles energy ring, which seems like a pretty sweet hand. So it blocks the hand blast, but we're getting closer to level 2. So we got that going for us, which is nice. And oh, let me talk about that block real quick, because that card is sweet, and I don't know why it's not seeing play in every black deck ever. But Black Swipe stops an energy attack, and then you banish 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile, and it has endurance too. So banishing 3 cards from your opponent's discard pile. What else does that? Whatchamacallit. I just did it earlier. Devastating Blow. Sorry about that. So, Devastating Blow also banishes 3 cards of your choosing. And this time, you get to do it for stopping an attack. Seems good. So, I highly recommend Black Swipe right now. So, count it. So, making me discard to the mastery, and we search up the other blue intervention. That's why that card is good. You know, with the onset of the new, like the results we've had recently with Blue Piccolo, Red Tien, Red Goku, Red Garlic, like all these neat things that are going on. I'm not sure in the future how good the Blue Turles is going to be, but against Black MPPV, it pretty much dominates. So we're going to Floating Beam 6 life cards, raise your anger 1. You can raise your opponent's anger 1, and if your opponent's anger is 4 or higher, the attack cannot be stopped. But I think do I raise him to? Oh, okay, that's right. He didn't have a block in his hand, and so we don't need to raise his anger at all, because I can't stop it anyway. And then level 2 Turles has no impact on that attack, so that's neat. And actually here he was just remembering that he can use an endurance on that attack. Alright, so moving on. See if he actually plays it. And he does. And he says the damage from Black Binding Burst would be 5 life cards, raises anger 1, plus 1/1 from the mastery. Card's okay. I think the reason that Black Blinding Burst is in the deck is because, like, it gains you anger, it's a decent attack, but it also has endurance too. Which, in most of the format, endurance 2 is pretty good, but I think a lot of the format is moving towards more blocks than endurance because of the presence of Turles. Not being able to prevent damage through endurance is pretty nutty. Pretty nutty. So, alright, and that's what he's debating right now, if he's preventing Turles. So he lets it crit. And then we use Turles level 2. So it's an energy attack for 5 stages, and damage from it can't be prevented. And if it hits, your opponent pays 3 stages, or you may raise your anger 2 levels and use a critical damage effect. So that's pretty sweet. I think at this point, instead of paying the extra 2 stages, aka life cards, or 3 stages, sorry, he just says I can have 2 anger, and I get to lower his 1. So there he takes the damage. I mean, as he was at 0. Yeah, there he goes. So it seems to take a long time to get off level 1 with Turles in blue. But, oh, here I am showing the camera the difference. Yeah, so takes Turles a while to get off of level 1. Maybe the way I was playing it was not the best. I didn't discard stuff to the mastery to stop attacks as often as I could have, and that might have been detrimental to getting to level 2 quicker. But I like the effects that are inherently on the cards right now. I'm more convinced by that than discarding to the mastery most of the time. Situationally, of course you have to go for it. Alright, so we grab a biting drill, Dragon Ball. That's pretty sweet, and I'm cool with that. And I think we just, yeah, ditch Dragon Ball. Keep playing the way Blue plays Dragon Ball. And his life deck is definitely getting really light at this point. Ooh, he's got a stare down though. So he chooses go to combat. Fair enough. We have a shifting maneuver, a dragon radar, a floating beam, and a... What's that? Can't wait to get the new camera in so we can have 1080p on these videos. Like I haven't learned, like memorized all the art yet on everything. So that's the thing. I want to say it's a back break, but I don't think it's a back break. I think it's a, oh, there it is. It's a defensive stance. Defensive stance. The cards all had streaks across them. They all looked the same. Darn you, anime, for always having streaks going across the screen when something fast is happening. Making me not tell the difference between cards that are all fuzzy on camera. Alright, so we go Turles. And then he's got to choose whether or not I'm going to 4 anger. And yeah, we're going to 4 anger. Ditch his anger. Oh, and then we just remembered Biting Drill was in play. 2 more cards. Down it goes. He's got 4 cards left in the deck. So I think we know it's over at this point. I think we're just going through the motions for the sake of having things be on the video. So discards to the mastery, no problem. I'll discard that radar. And yeah, he's got 1 card left. And with Biting Drill in play, oh, that's how we end it. Forgot about that. So blue takedown. And what blue takedown does is it's physical for 4 stages, lower your opponent's anger 1, and if your opponent's anger is lowered to 0, you can lower your opponent's MP 1 level. But here, as I explained to him how Biting Drill works, and we mill his last card, he was not happy. But there's the hand, and blue Turles looks like it just controls Ginyu the whole way through. There's not much he can do, and that's how it works. Blue on black. As a metagame choice, I would make sure that you know there's going to be a lot of black Ginyu until you figure out how your matchups go. But thanks for tuning in, ballers. Don't forget to go to ArkadiaGaming.com for sweet Dragon Ball singles, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out, ballers.
何が起きても気分